Yeah, we don't know. But what we do know is we don't want to go to war with Iran. Now, there's a lot of people in the Trump administration who they always sneak in these neoconservatives, by the way, or neoliberals. It doesn't matter. What we mean by that is people that love going to war all the time. There's never a war they don't like. They like Ukraine. They like Israel, Gaza. They like Syria. They liked Iraq. They liked Afghanistan. They liked Libya. And they'll like Yemen. There's nothing they don't like. There's not one war a lot of these people don't like. I just want one. I just want one of them to go, well, that one I don't think is good. Every war on the table with these people is great. Everybody we're supporting is of unimpeachable integrity and the greatest people ever. Everybody that we're opposing is an irrational monster who cannot be negotiated with. We are just trying to help a people live in a more democratic way against a Hitlerian figure who's impervious to reason. This is every conflict that I have ever witnessed my entire life since I became conscious. All of these people, Iran, they've been talking about Iran since 2001. Iran. And in Long Island, during the Iraq War, when everyone, including me, thought that was a great idea, of course, my defense is that I was 17 and on cocaine, you would bump into people in Dunkin' Donuts, and they would go, yeah, the real problem's Iran. They're going to go into Iran after Iraq. That's where they're going to go, to Iran. Because these people, these gremlins, these creatures that walk the earth have been filled with the idea that Iran is going to take their Levitt house in Levittown, Long Island, and that in order to stop that, we need a major war. This is what we've sold all these people, by the way. We've sold them this idea that, like, all of the threats that you're going to encounter in your life are from outside of the country, and it's caves. There are these people in caves plotting to destroy, but they're also really super sophisticated and brilliant and in caves, but really smart. And they're religious fundamentalists, but also futuristic tech geniuses. And they're able to do all kinds of things, like attack our country. And on the day when NORAD had scrambled all the planes, they picked the exact right moment. It's wild what these people are able to do from a cave. It's really amazing. It is unreal what they're able to pull off from a cave. I mean, because they're all in caves, and they're all plotting to take the things from you. They're going to come in here somehow. Now, you would think, wouldn't it be easy to stop them from coming in here if we just didn't let a lot of people come in, if we tightened up security as to who could come in and who could go? Well, that's silly. We can't do that. It's a global world. So then you go, okay, so then what do we have to do to make sure that no one attacks us? Well, we have to go around the world overturning their governments and convincing them all to love us. Oh, that seems so hard. It seems so much easier to just, like, make it harder to get into our country. Well, you'd think that, but actually the best course of action is to just go get these people to really love us and appreciate us. And how do we do that? Attack them. We attack them. What? We bomb their homes and families. And then the ones that are left alive realize how benevolent and good we are because we let corporations go in there and do things. Oh, okay. Has this ever worked? No. Right. Okay. But we got to keep doing it. Yes. Why? For our safety. Yeah. Seems odd. So that's the course of action that these people believe. They believe it because the financial incentives to believe it are too strong. There's absolutely a direct correlation between our defense budget, which Trump is now proposing $1 trillion or something absurd.
Ridiculous.
Because they're all getting ready for China. They're getting ready for the main event. Remember wrestling? And the main event. They're getting ready for China, but we got to run around the Middle East as well. And we have to make sure that Iran doesn't come and get us. So all of these people are, it's record-breaking $1 trillion defense budget. He campaigned as being the ultimate peace president, no wars guy, and he's doing $1 trillion defense budget. So here's what people will have to start.
This is why I appreciate Tim Dillon pointing this stuff out and just sort of being plain-faced, bold-faced about it. It's like, yeah, man, you said you were going to be the anti-war candidate, yet you're warmongering with half of the world, and you're proposing the largest military budget in the history of the United States. So who, what are we supposed to leave? Oh, no, it's peace by strength. It's the art of the deal. It's like, all right, well, all right. It's just you can't with these people. It makes me reflect, sort of the broader point of what's going on with the military industrial complex. It's like in the United States, Americans used to be very anti-war. I mean, we were not like this always. Leading up into World War II, it's like we didn't want any piece of that. It was the greatest global conflict. You had, Hitler marching across Europe and like literally invading whole countries, Poland, France, et cetera, et cetera. And Americans were still like, nah, not that important. We don't want to deal with it. It was only after Japan directly attacked us at home where we were like, all right, let's go get these motherfuckers. And then after that, it's like everything changed. The whole cultural zeitgeist, the whole paradigm of American thought just changed, and we just turned into this monster going around and meddling with the world. And we haven't been able to break that momentum, and we need more people like Tim Dillon on sort of the other side of the political aisle, or at least to that can speak that language and communicate with that, to make that more of a realization, because we have to break this trend of constant militarized warmongering society that we've been. It's barbaric, it's wasteful. You talk about waste, fraud, and abuse. Proposing $1 trillion Pentagon budget for the year, where they are the most, fraud-laden organization that we have in the U.S. government, and nobody can stop them because it's so much money involved. So I appreciate the commentary. Anyway, let's go and finish this clip.
Start parsing out in their own mind at a certain point here. What version of Donald Trump is the version that you want? And what's the version that you're getting? And how much daylight is there between those two versions? I think it would be a very big mistake to go to war with Iran. A lot of people do. I think it would drain our resources at a time when we shouldn't be doing that. It's one of the reasons I don't think it's intelligent to continually make the Ukraine war a permanent column in the Defense Department budget and effectively engage in a Cold War with Russia, while the looming threat of China, which Taiwan has a lot more strategic importance to America than the Ukraine does. 1,000%. And any smart person will tell you that. So the idea that we cannot fight wars in three theaters. We can't be funding these people and funding Israel and in Iran. We can't do it. So President Trump has given Iran a 2-month deadline to accept a deal that would lead to Iran shrinking.
This is how empires collapse, by the way. I mean, Spanish Empire got overextended and collapsed. United Kingdom Empire got overextended and collapsed. I mean, over and over again. This is how Roman Empire, amongst other things, but this is how, you start getting engaged in frivolous, wasteful wars that are not democratically popular because of corruption and money interest. This is how you have societal collapse. This is how empires collapse. This is how they fall apart. And that is the direction we've been on for the last several decades.
Its nuclear footprint or eliminating its program altogether. I want them not to have a nuclear weapon. I want Iran to be a wonderful, great, happy country, but they can't have a nuclear weapon, Trump said on Air Force One. Because Iran having a nuclear weapon poses a direct threat to Israel, not so much America, but Israel's an ally of America. And, of course, Trump said military strikes are possible against Iran if a new nuclear deal isn't reached, though he said Israel, which has been advocating for an attack on Iran, would take the lead. Well, here we are. Here we are. Here we are again. And who's this for? Whose security is this for? If it requires military, we're going to have military. Trump said on Wednesday, Israel will obviously be very much involved in that. They'll be the leader of that. Israel wants to go to war with Iran because it is in their interest to do so. Iran backs proxies like Hezbollah and other people that have attacked Israel. And Israel has gone to war with Hezbollah, and it has gone to war. Hezbollah is backed by Lebanon, but Iran is funneling money to all of these different groups. The Houthis, all of the different terrorist groups, Iran is definitely supporting. And Qatar is supporting to some degree. And it makes sense why Israel would want to go to war with Iran. However, right now, it makes very little sense that a president who campaigned on being peaceful and getting us out of wars and restoring the middle class would entertain preemptive strikes on Iran with Israel. Iran has allies like China and Russia, and I don't know if China and Russia would directly get involved in this. They probably wouldn't, but I don't think they would. But they might. It's always a risk when you destabilize an entire region of the world that allies like China and Iran are going to come in, and now we're in World War III. Now we're literally in World War III. The economy's tanked, and now we're walking into World War III with Iran at the behest, again, of Israel, which I don't think is a smart decision for our government to make. And there's a lot of people in Trump's ear that are telling him it is a smart thing to do, that this is a good thing, that it's a necessary thing. I don't think it is. And I think a lot of people agree with what I'm saying, and that's that we simply cannot continue to look at regime change in the world as the only option. We have to start dealing with people that are dangerous and threatening without directly going to war with them. America's moment running the world is over. China is a power equal to or greater economically than we are at this point, probably equal to. Some people say their economy is bigger. It depends on what metrics you look at. India is coming up. Russia has more nuclear weapons than any other country. A lot of countries are going, you can't push them around. A lot of countries are nuclear. A lot of countries, they're not Iraq. They're not Afghanistan. They cannot simply be bent to our will. And I think J.D. Vance gets that. I think a lot of people in the administration that I have spoken to, I haven't spoken to J.D., but I know a lot of people get it. And there's a lot of people that don't get it. There's a lot of people that don't understand it. Because there's this idea that retreat or capitulation to a guy like Vladimir Putin or the Ayatollahs in Iran is a sign of American weakness, and that is the foreign policy establishment's view in Washington. The permanent foreign policy establishment, they just want war all the time. They don't really care what happens. I mean, Netanyahu just goes, even if the nuclear strikes drag on, Israel may just strike anyway. I mean,
dickhead.
He goes, we might do it anyway. You can talk if you want. Well, we might just get it popping. We might go into it anyway. Do you want to fight? I mean, think about it. Are you trying to fight Iran out there? Anyone? Is anyone trying to fight Iran right now? Is anyone trying to fight Vladimir Putin over where the northern border of the Ukraine should be? Is anyone doing that? Does anyone, I respect the people that were like dual citizens of Israel and America, the ones that went over there to fight. I respect that. God bless. Go do your thing. And I respect that. But there's a lot of people that won't be fighting these wars that just love them. They're like really excited. We're gonna strike anyway, says Benjamin Netanyahu. Does this guy, do we have any control over these people? Do we have any influence over there? We give them billions of dollars. Do we have absolutely any influence at all with that country at this moment? This is like your kid walks into your house with a new tattoo, smoking a cigarette, and you're like, young lady, what? What the fuck's going on? You're smoking in the house, you have a tattoo, and they're saying you're not going to school. Hey, ma, fuck you. And I need 500. What? And then as you're saying it, you're writing the check. You're like, I cannot believe you're acting. You want me to make it out to cash? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Here's your money. And then they put the cigarette out and they ash it on the floor and they put it out with their boot. And then they walk out and they go, yeah, fuck you, and tell everyone at school, fuck off. I'm going to Coachella to get fucking railed out in a teepee or something. I don't know. But the point is, we really have to start looking at this like Benjamin Netanyahu's like, this guy was like on trial for corruption. Now, when my helicopter goes down, by the way, let's wonder why. But he was on trial for corruption. Then October 7th happened, the tragedy of October 7th, the horror, the attack. Don't call it a tragedy. It was, yes, the attack. I get it. I didn't do it. So this happens. It's horrible. They respond. Okay. They go wild. They go a bit overboard, I think. Well, those are actually the Hamas statistics. Sure, yeah, okay. But it's not good, right? It's not great. So we have this situation now on top of all, and we've been very supportive. Now Iran. I don't know. So we're gonna sleepwalk through that. If Trump does that, I think it's the end of his term, even more so than this economic volatility. I think if he walks into that war, it's the end of his term. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi warned that a war on Iran would drag the U.S. and the region into a costly conflict that a president elected on an anti-war platform would be eager to avoid. We cannot imagine President Trump wanting to become another U.S. president mired in a catastrophic war in the Middle East, a conflict that would quickly extend across the region and cost exponentially more than the trillions of taxpayer dollars that his predecessors burned in Afghanistan and Iraq. You know, history, the longer you pay attention, this is why eventually I will retire from this job. It's not because I don't enjoy it. I actually love doing it. I love doing this. I love stand-up, and I love coming on here. But here's the reality. Eventually, everything just starts to repeat itself. It's crazy. We're talking again about going to war in the Middle East. You understand? We did this in 2003. It's now 2025. You understand what we're doing again? It's the same. It really is just, it's Groundhog Day. It's that movie. It's just the same day every day. I hope Trump figures out that this would be a terrible, terrible idea. Now let's talk about that.
All right. Wow. 100%. Couldn't agree more. Just really poignant. And we are just sort of in the middle and on the precipice of so much madness in the world. And I don't know. I wouldn't have any idea. I wouldn't have any guess as to what direction they're going to take. I hope they choose peace. Obviously, I have lived through enough tragedy in my life to not want to see that happen, of course. Let me know what you guys think. Another great segment by Tim Dillon, the only honest comedian left, apparently.